as we talked about, you said 5 years and then dedicated to the ICT concepts. During that time,
I think it's a reasonable time, right?
I think, especially considering that you're already 6 years in. But it just goes to show that mindset of willing to take on this new concept as a fresh journey, is that what the mindset you had towards it?
Yeah. Like I looked at it like almost like schooling. It's like professional sports. You wouldn't go out and challenge somebody that's a professional at a specific sport if you weren't an expert.
Yeah.
Like you can't go out and just assume that you're going to be on the NBA court with some of the top players. Yeah. Because if you only can shoot free throws, like most people can shoot free throws, right? A lot of people can't dribble. A lot of people can't take a 3-point shot or pass, precision pass. Like that's the mindset you have to take when you're going into trading, because you have to have all these skill sets. You can't just have one thing. Like you can't just be really good at execution. Like what's execution without risk management? Right? What's execution without psychology? Like you have to have a full skill set. And what does that mean? That takes time. Like when you're looking at it, all right, it's regular schooling. Think about it like if you're a surgeon. Like they're not going to put you into a surgery room with a scalpel and you're not going to be, operating surgery the next day. But that's kind of the access you have to markets. Like it's so easy to sign up to a brokerage and just take your first trade.
Yeah.
Right.
Easy access, very, very easy access, And in regards to that, then obviously, I hear a lot that ICT concepts, there's a lot of concepts, right? There's, I think maybe 100 of them, as an example, right? And, what was it like in your journey? Was there a case where you started off by like learning all of them?
Yeah, which is it's not the best way to do it, Like you want to be an expert at just a couple of them first and learn the ins and outs of just a couple. Like the Fibonacci, when I sat down with ICT, actually, I said, the Fibonacci, you don't just take the Fibonacci and put it on a chart and all of a sudden you understand it. Like you can't just draw one swing projection out and now all of a sudden you're an expert at it. It's the same thing. You got to take 100, 10,000 free throws before you become an expert at it.
Yeah.
So like back testing and studying the Fibonacci tool itself is going to take a long time. You can't just get it in a week, right? Because there's certain nuances, like there's certain ways that you use it to your advantage that creates an edge. You don't get it just because it's available to you.
Of course, yeah. So like, what was the process like of finding out of say the 100 that you then, the handful that you then resonated with? Was it a case of just like, these are the ones that make most sense to me and I've seen play out in the market personally, and therefore I'm going to choose those?
Yeah, and it's really what I became comfortable with. Like I just trade fair value gaps mostly. 80% of my trades, just fair value gap. But that came with back testing, Like I tried trading turtle soups. I wasn't really comfortable with them. Like I guess a run on stops, right? They all make sense to me, right? Because I have a bigger understanding of narrative behind it, like why the market's moving certain directions or why it's going to certain levels, like who's being trapped on what side. And that kind of builds a narrative for me, but I'm not using that as my signal, right? I'm not using it as my setup because it doesn't make me comfortable.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And it's interesting because I think a lot of people, as you say, and you did it in the start of yours, is like you're learning all of these different concepts, right? And the reality is that, for it to work, you got to go for what makes sense to you. As you say, you can understand things.
I think not only that, like what has the high strike rate and what's paying you, right? That don't change. If something's working for you, you're making money. Like just because it's boring, don't change it, right? A lot of people probably get bored and they want to change something.
Yeah.
I actually talked about it with Angelo because he spoke about it. Because he said some of our traders, right, they go from profitably scalping or swing trading euro, right? And then the next month, now they're scalping gold. Well, why are they doing that, right? Like you made money last month doing one thing. Why are you doing this now?
Do you think it's sometimes social influence? So one is like you said about being bored and then trying something different. But do you think another one is seeing other people doing something and maybe it's like they're killing it?
Yeah, maybe they're trying to find the magic bullet, which doesn't exist. Right? The silver bullet, I guess.
Yeah. No, because I've seen people where they've got results. Yeah, they're looking for something where it's just easy in terms of like, do you come to the market and say, because you're consistent and you got the high level funding, do you ever come to the market and you're like, I know 100% this is going there and then there and then there?
Never 100%.
Like you have a confident feeling, narrative.
Like my A+ setup, I feel like 70% confident on, right?
Yeah.
Which is not. I'm always expecting I could possibly take a loss on a trade. Like it's the risk is always there. Yeah, it's always there.
Perfect.
So whatever I felt like it was going to be a home run setup, and sometimes they look like home run setups, right? Sometimes they just come back and stop you out. Like it looked great at the time, but the powers that be, didn't allow you to hit your targets.
100%. So it's not a case where you usually still feel confident in your setup, but you're not there thinking you can essentially play by play, say, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Because I feel like a lot of traders out there believe there's something out there that they will eventually be able to learn, that they can come to the market and ping pong the market whenever they want, at any time they want, just by looking at it.
Yeah. Maybe they can. Maybe they're the outlier.
Again, the anomaly, yeah. But I think, as we talked about, that's like the, as let's say the statistic of, say, 1% of traders are winning. The anomaly is then 0.01% of that 1%.
Like, you should always be trying to get to that level. Everybody wants to get to that level because they don't want to take losses, right? Like, there's always something to strive for. Like, yeah, you should be trying to get the 100% strike rate. Like, who wouldn't want to get the 100% strike rate? Just don't assume that you're going to get it.
Yeah. So it's like, it's striving for perfection, but not thinking you're going to be perfect.
Yeah.